Greetings, my dears, in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton. Why forgiveness is the great healer and how to have it. Now, this is very important for healing. My model of healing is to develop understanding for events that have gone on, for the players in your life, for the people in your life, for the circumstances in your life, and also understanding for yourself and your own behaviours, because understanding leads to forgiveness. If you better understand what's gone on and why people do the things they do, you can sort of empathise with them better, and it leads to forgiveness. You understand why it's happened, you release the burden of guilt from the self, and it naturally leads to forgiveness. And I'll give you examples in a moment. But forgiveness really is the great healer, because through forgiveness you release so much negative emotion. So as I said, forgiveness releases trapped negative energy. It releases trapped negative emotions. Your great vast subconscious mind is the seat of all your stored up historical emotions and memories. And if these aren't healed, then they can bug you day to day. And that underlying feeling you have day to day that feels negative, it might be sadness, it might be depression, it just comes up and bugs you. You don't ask for it, do you? These are signs that you need healing. There's something in the subconscious that is negative, that needs healing. It's an event that's gone on that needs to be gone over again and digested again and healed. Now, here's an example of forgiveness releasing trapped negative energy, trapped emotion. So let's say you felt guilty because you forgot to buy someone a gift. So guilt is a sign that you need to forgive yourself. Guilt is the burden of, I've done something wrong and I could have done better. I wronged someone. So we need to change that negative thought pattern. I feel guilty because I forgot to buy someone a gift. So therefore I need to forgive myself. So let's see, how can I forgive myself? Through understanding, as I said. Now, why did I forget to buy the gift? Okay, I've been super busy, I've been super stressed, I mean well, I didn't want to forget, I'm feeling so bad about that. I did write it down, but still I forgot. Okay, next time I'll set a reminder on my phone to beep at me, things like that. But I understand that I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. I'm trying my best and I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to apologise and get them a gift anyway, but still I feel guilty, you know. So to release that, you have the understanding of why it might be hard for you at the moment to remember such things, and then try again to do better next time. It's forgiving the self through understanding of why those behaviours came about and letting yourself off the hook a little bit. And then you can release that negative emotion, that feeling of guilt, and put measures in place so it doesn't happen again. It's understanding the self. You know that you try your best, but understanding what went wrong, and that can lead to forgiveness. So forgiveness changes negative thought patterns as well. So let's say you're carrying around a lot of negative emotion, perhaps about someone in your life from the past. Let's say there was a sibling that was very unkind to you. Let's say your brother or sister was very unkind to you while you're growing up, a bit of a bully. So today, in our daily life today, that might be a source of anxiety because it caused us anxiety day to day, and we're still living in anxiety now, and we're somehow expecting those same events to occur to us. We might be distrusting of people. It might make us shy and timid, lacking confidence, things like that. So these negative thought patterns recur on us day to day due to negative experiences we've had. So through understanding, you can try to forgive that sibling and understand why the sibling behaved that way. Perhaps it was something to do with a lack of support for them. Perhaps they weren't supported too well by your parents, or perhaps there was something at school. Perhaps they were being bullied, and in turn they do it to you, try and pass on that negative emotion, try and offload their negative emotion. They might bully the sibling. So through understanding of why they were having those behaviours, we can forgive them, because we could have a bit of sympathy oh my goodness, they're probably having a hard time at school being bullied, or oh my goodness, they needed this support or that support and weren't getting it, and take it out on me. It doesn't make it acceptable, but you have understanding of why that's gone on. And understanding naturally leads to forgiveness, because you realise it wasn't personal to you. They know not what they do. And at the end of the day, people want to be kind and good. And if they had all the tools in order to be kind and good, then they would be. If everyone was fully supported and caring of each other in a mutually caring way, then there wouldn't be such negative behaviours in order to forgive. So we have understanding. So forgiveness returns us to a state of love. Now, love is the ultimate truth. It's the default setting of our reality, if you will. All else is distortion. So we talk about duality, and perhaps that creation is kind of impartial, because creation has the positive and the negative going on earth, let's say. But although creation has extremely negative things going on, extremely positive things going on, the root truth of it all is love. That was the very beginning. That was the beginning, the basic programming, if you will, of our reality, of the unified field. So when we have forgiveness and release that negative emotion, then it returns us to that state of love, which is the ultimate truth of the matter. And in that case, you're getting closer to your true self, closer to your soul. And that's why forgiveness is so very, very important. It releases that negativity that you're carrying around, which is a distortion, it's an illusion, it's stuff we've picked up that often wasn't even ours. And it returns us to a state that we should be in, which is what we're trying to learn while we're here in this interesting experience that is planet Earth, a mixture of all the good and the bad. Our challenge is to have forgiveness in even the most difficult circumstances and return to love. And in that way you end up manifesting better anyway. So creation wants us to return to love. We are creation. We're part of that one infinitely intelligent being. And the challenge it's thrown down is, in the face of all this stuff that happens to us, can we return to love? Or do we end up one of those really negative so-and-sos that tries to control everyone and control the planet, gaining power, manipulation and control? That's the ultimate distortion that still creation sees if they'll return back to the truth, which is love. And forgiveness is key. So here's some more examples. Let's say I feel bad I couldn't get there in time. So this is examples of forgiveness of the self. When we have guilt, when we feel bad about something. So I couldn't get there on time. Let's say a relative of mine was passing away. It's happened to a family member of mine. A relative of mine passing away. I didn't get there in time. Now, I feel bad about that. I might carry that around and feel terrible about it for a long time. But if I try and understand, okay, I definitely would have been there, but I didn't know they were going to pass away. I didn't have time off work, let's say. I couldn't be there all the time because I have commitments. I would have been. I really wanted to have been. Things like that. So having that understanding of yourself and knowing that you always do try your best, then you can let yourself off the hook a little bit. The subconscious might not accept it completely and you still might have some guilt. But through that understanding over time, remind yourself of the reasons why, the understanding of why. Now here's forgiveness of someone else. Let's say you have anger at how a friend has treated you. So you're angry at them and their behaviour towards you. So we need to have forgiveness in order to release that anger. Why do we keep the anger anyway? It's the ego that does it. The ego wants to feel like it's got something going on. It's clinging on to these concepts, which again are all illusions, they're all distortions. So let's say a friend said something a bit rude to me, and this is hypothetical again, a bit rude to me. and I go home feeling cross about it. Now, how can I have forgiveness? Why is this person rude? Perhaps from their perspective it wasn't rude. Why is that? Well, maybe socially they just are a bit different to me. Maybe they had my best interests at heart actually, and they're just trying to be honest and thought that I would be able to take it. Maybe in their background people have been rude to them a lot and they're passing it on. So there's lots of ways to have understanding, and in that way, through understanding, I can think, well, actually I can understand that, I can sympathise with that, I can empathise with that, maybe it's not so bad after all, and that naturally leads to forgiveness. So in that way you can have forgiveness for someone else. What about a circumstance or a community or something? What happens if you live in a community where you feel fearful to go outside? I know many people do. Well, yes, you can have fear of going outside and feeling fearful that something's going to happen, but you can have forgiveness for the community, which will help you to manifest better actually. So by realising why is it like that in the local area, obviously say it's a deprived area or something like that, and there's lots of negative energy floating around because people are doing negative things to each other, and it's a negative place in terms of emotions and energy. I think, why is that? Because people have gone without, had upsetting upbringings and things like that. So through that understanding, we can forgive the people around, because everyone wants to be good, but their circumstances often turn them to do negative things because they've got no choice, or they've been brainwashed in some way by someone else during their upbringing. Well, it's the only way to survive. So you have understanding of why they're like this. And then that can release some of that negative energy or fear that you have, realising that people are generally good and they know not what they do. And therefore you can manifest better actually by having that attitude that is more positive of your surroundings, and therefore you manifest more safety for yourself. Okay, now forgiveness releases karma, and this is an important point. Let's say you're going round and round in lifetimes, incarnating with a soul over and over again because of some lesson that needs to be learned. Perhaps you wronged each other in one life, wronged each other in another life, but it just keeps happening again. But if you detect there's someone in your life that this is happening with, they're in your life and they're just a pain, and you just together, a terrible mix, and terrible things happen between you. You fall out or hurt each other and things like that. Consider that there's some kind of karmic connection there, and forgiveness can release that karmic connection. Understand why they are that way, why it might be, and understand them better, and try and show them love and care and see if their behaviour improves, and lead by example. And you can have forgiveness for them by understanding them better, and then release those karmic bonds, and maybe you won't incarnate with them again, and the rest of your existence together will be better as well, releasing that karma. So just to sum up, forgiveness of others as well as forgiveness of self heals yourself, and it heals others, because you're not projecting negativity onto them either, and your own negative energy is dissipating. It heals creation as well, because as I said, creation wants you to return to love and a state of love, and forgiveness releases the negative energy and heals creation itself, because you and the other person and the circumstance, place, event, whatever, it's all creation. It all heals creation, and it contributes to your ascension, because by healing those hurts through forgiveness, your consciousness is raising too. You're having realizations you didn't have before. You're getting rid of those daily bits of negative energy that bug you, and that means you're ascending. Your consciousness is raising. You're changing. You're on your path of awakening, a spiritual path which goes on through this lifetime. And think how much ascension can be gained by, through understanding and acceptance, having forgiveness for everything that's gone on, and just see how balanced and centered you feel as a result. Support this Spiritual Awakening YouTube channel on Patreon and receive weekly bonus videos. You can also choose to receive spiritual guidance via email or spiritual sessions. So don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.